Christy watches her younger siblings play softball in the yard before she goes to a Babysitters Club meeting. She introduces all the characters, including Janine, who won't show up again in the book, but who cares? The cat is cute. I demand that Marianne's cat attend all future club meetings.
Argofunk Book Review, Argofunk Book Review.
The kids in Christy's neighborhood play softball. They're so bad, Christy says they need a softball clinic. There are some important rules they need to learn, such as softballs aren't white, and softballs are always pitched underhand. I think the artist must have confused softball with baseball, which is a totally understandable mistake. Amanda says there's a boy named Bart Taylor nearby who runs his own softball team. The kids ask Christy if they can join. Christy reluctantly goes to find Bart, and oh no, he's hot! Bart says he can't take on 5 new players and suggests that Christy should start her own team. Christy babysits the Radowskis, who are planning a birthday party for their dog. Jackie spills lemonade, and he's clumsy when playing ball. Jackie's older brother is so mean, Christy officially decides to start her own softball team so Jackie can play. The other babysitters find players for the team, including a 2-year-old who has to use a wiffle ball, and a 4-year-old who's too afraid of the ball to play. Christy talks things over with Watson, who handles all the scheduling and helps Christy realize the team is just for fun. In my favorite moment of the book, Christy panics when Watson learns she's got a huge crush on Bart. At the first practice, the team picks the name Christy's Crushers, spelled with a K for Christy. Karen is mad because it's supposed to be spelled with a C. She refuses to go along with this terrible spelling. Practice ends when Jackie loses their only ball. Christy only brought 1 ball to practice? Jeez. This is a continuity error. We saw 4 other balls earlier in the chapter. In the subplot, Lucy Newton gets a diaper rash. There's no subplot. The whole book is softball. The Pikes play a game against some of the Crushers. The Crushers do an impressive job of working together and trying hard. The only problem is when Claire has a tantrum, and I'm sorry, that's not a tantrum. That is standing in place and being angry. Tantrums involve screaming. At the next practice, Jackie is smashed in the mouth. There's blood, and he loses a tooth. Christy wisely decides to cancel practice after that. Christy sees Bart during a dog walk. They talk about their teams. Christy's offended when Bart thinks her team is too young to play. She challenges his team to a game in 2 weeks. The kids are excited at the prospect of a real game. They plan to make it a big event with refreshments and cheerleaders. Christy worries the team isn't ready, but Watson reminds her winning doesn't matter as long as you try your best. That's loser talk, Watson. Bart and some of his kids show up to watch Christy's team practice. Bart's Bashers should be renamed Bart's Butts, because these kids are butts. They make fun of the baby for having a wiffle ball, Jackie for being messy, and Matt for being deaf. Haley tells them off for being mean to her brother. The kids purposely distract Bart so he doesn't hear these insults. The one time he does overhear an insult, he warns his kids they're not being nice. The Crusher kids decide they're not going to be mean to the Basher bullies. Definitely something 7-year-olds would decide. On game day, Christy feels overwhelmed. The kids call her with a bunch of questions, and the lead pitcher is sick. David Michael is forced to be the new pitcher. The Bashers arrive at the game with professional-looking outfits and cheerleaders. Christy refuses to be intimidated by them. She has trouble focusing on the game at first because all the kids want her attention. The Babysitters Club helps by watching the kids. You know, for a moment, I forgot the Babysitters Club was even in this book. It's mostly Christy. Jackie knocks over the food table. He strikes out badly, and he almost hits someone with his bat. Jackie is so embarrassed he pretends to hurt himself so he doesn't have to play anymore. Christy convinces him to keep trying and do his best. Jackie plays better after the pep talk. The team still loses by 5 runs, but everyone's happy. The mean kids are forced to admit the Crushers are a good team. Bart walks Christy home. He compliments her team's dedication and apologizes for when his team was mean. They schedule another game in 2 weeks. For the rest of the series, Christy only plays Bart's team. It makes me wonder who Bart's team played before the Crushers came along. More importantly, Bart asks if they can be friends and go out sometime, and he kisses her on the cheek. Ooh, Bart likes Christy. Christy tells Watson about her new love life, and there's a joke ending where clumsy Jackie breaks a lamp. Some things never change. The end. Post-book follow-up. I thought this book was good, although I imagine that readers who don't like softball will find it boring. I found it hard to keep track of all the characters, since there are over 15 kids. I can't tell which kid is which most of the time. When they're wearing batting helmets that cover their hair, I've got no chance of knowing who is who. Ironically, they cut out at least 8 kids from this book to try to make it easier. Maybe they should have cut out another 8 kids. I'm still confused. Jackie, Karen, and Matt are the 3 players who stand out the most. The book is named after Jackie, so it makes sense that he stands out. Still, I feel like the book could have done a lot more with Jackie if he didn't have to share the story with 15 other kids. It would have been nice to see him interact with his brothers more than once. I probably complained about this in an earlier video, but why don't the Radowskis have red hair? Christy still uses the nickname Red for the kids. Who decided against using red when coloring the character nicknamed Red? Was it the same person who accidentally gave Charlie red hair in the one panel? Overall, the book is not a home run, but it's not a strikeout either. I'd give it a solid double, maybe a triple. I like the stuff with Watson, and I'm sure fans will like how the graphic novel gives Bart romance more than the original book does. I like how it has a realistic ending where Christy's team loses and the bullies don't apologize, rather than a happy ending, an unrealistically happy ending where the team of misfits wins the World Series. I give Babysitter's Club graphic novel number 16, Christy and the Walking Disaster, a 7 out of 10. It's the same score I gave the original book. I really couldn't figure out what score to give it, so I'm like, same as the original. They're probably just as good.